We start our midday with developing news on the attempted assassination over the weekend against the former president. Federal law enforcement officers are now searching for the motive of the suspect. This morning, FBI officials say they believe the Trump rally suspected shooter acted alone, but investigators say they're still looking for any potential co-conspirators. The FBI did not know of the suspect, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, before the shooting. The agency has still not figured out a motive in the attack. The FBI is investigating this as both an assassination attempt and a potential act of domestic terrorism. Investigators are still doing their interviews, going over evidence, and following up on any leads. There are calls for calm following the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally on Saturday. The FBI taking over that investigation as questions mount about how this could have even happened in the first place. Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzell.
An incident not seen in a generation. Now the start of a new chapter of modern history. The assassination attempt of the former president and current presumptive presidential nominee, leaving a nation stunned. New video from TMZ showing the suspected shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, in the moments before he was killed by Secret Service. The AP reporting a local police officer tried to confront the shooter, but backed away when the gun was pointed at him. The suspect's yearbook photos seen here. The crime now being investigated by the FBI as a domestic terror attack.
That bullet went just apparently a millimeter from doing real and permanent damage to him or perhaps taking his life.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson promising a full investigation into how Donald Trump was left so vulnerable following witness accounts like this.
We noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof. We're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely.
Police say he had explosives in his car and at his home and was just about 200 to 300 yards away from the stage where Donald Trump was speaking.
How is it that someone could get on a roof with a superior position with a weapon and attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump? It's just unthinkable, unfathomable. We need to know, is this a protocol failure? Is this a resources issue?
A defiant Donald Trump arriving in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, saying he decided not to delay his trip, posting, "I cannot allow a shooter or potential assassin to force change to scheduling or anything else." President Joe Biden from the Oval Office addressing the nation Sunday night.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America.
A former Pennsylvania fire chief, Corey Comparator, was killed while attending the Butler County rally. His sister posting this photo on Facebook saying, "My baby brother had just turned 50. Former First Lady Melania Trump posting this statement on X, calling the country to ascend above the hate, the vitriol, and the simple-minded ideas that ignite violence. President Joe Biden is echoing those calls for unity, as are many of his fellow Democrats, saying it's time to stop calling for him to step down out of concern for his debate performance or his poll numbers, and instead stand behind him during this difficult time for our country. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
And we're learning more about the victims of this weekend's shooting. One person was killed in the attack. Corey Comparatori, a former firefighter, shot while protecting his family.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family.
Two other men were also shot on Saturday, 57-year-old David Dutch and 74-year-old James Copenhaver. This morning, both are in stable condition. And as the search for a motive continues, so does the response to the attempted assassination. We've been sharing those responses on our website and throughout the weekend newscasts. The latest one coming yesterday from Boise Mayor Lauren McLean. She says, quote, "Enough. Political violence has no place in our country. I'm holding those hurt in my prayers." mourn the senseless loss of life, and pray for Donald Trump's speedy recovery. Now is the time to pray for our nation and to recommit to bridge our divides, respect our adversaries, and protect our democracy, end quote. Governor Little posting a statement on X saying, quote, praying for President Trump and our nation. America needs our candidates to be able to campaign safely. This is a sad day. Prayers for President Trump and praise our Secret Service, end quote. Jim Risch releasing a statement saying, quote, the apparent attempt on President Trump's life in Pennsylvania is absolutely horrific. Vicky and I are praying for President Trump and all those injured in today's despicable incident. Mike Crapo also releasing a statement saying, quote, an apparent assassination attempt against a former president and current candidate for the President of the United States is beyond enraging and wholly un-American. I am praying for Donald Trump and hope he will recover expeditiously. I continue praying for the innocent victims and their families killed or injured by the assassination attempt at Donald Trump's rally today. Acts of political violence are those of cowardice, evil, and weakness. They are devoid of humanity, end quote.
We got this. We got this.